remember the open and
Okay, so this means you have to flip the inequality right here, which is what I did. Okay, this one here, again, look before you leap. What's easier here to do? What can we do? Multiply by the reciprocal instead of distribute that fraction. Now that reciprocal is going to be what? Negative. It is multiplying by negative 4 over 1, which is really just negative 4. But it's negative.
Is there a subtraction sign right after that?
I don't know. I don't think that's a subtraction. I think it's just supposed to be negative 1/4 times that. Okay, it does look like a subtraction, doesn't it?
yes.
Okay, so this goes away. I can remove the parentheses because I got nothing else being multiplied but stop. At the same time, I need to do what? Flip the inequality because this was negative. So because this is negative, I got to flip that inequality. Change the direction. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. Is this confusing? Here I wrote negative 4 over 1. Here I just wrote negative 4. Is that the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to confuse you on that. Okay? Negative 4 divided by 1 is just negative 4. Add 12. P is less than 20. All right, 0, 20.
Wait. Would that be a negative 8? No, my bad.
No, negative times negative is positive. Okay, open circle, solid dot.
Open.
Open. Everything less than 20 is representing P. Everything P could be. Okay, this one here, we got a few steps here.
Can we do this one?
No, let's do this, because you have something different here. Start
Oh, okay.
by getting the x's on the same side. I think that's the easiest way. Start by getting the x's on the same side. Now look, it doesn't matter if you subtract 9x or you subtract 6x. Personally, I like to avoid negatives. If I subtract 9x, I'm going to have a negative over here, right? So let's get rid of the 6x. Take it as a chunk. Subtract 6x. Subtract 6x from the thing that has x over here.
Would it work if we did it the other way?
It would. You're just going to have a negative. It still works. Now, I'm subtracting. That's not dividing, is it? So I don't flip the inequality. Now you have one like the other ones. So subtract 6, subtract 6. 3x is less than or equal to 15. Divide by 3. And there's no flipping.
X,
No flipping.
5.
So 0 and 5, solid dot,
To the left.
everything less than represents x.
Left less.
Cool? Clark, you're distracting. Okay, here we go. Solve the inequality if possible. Let's see what happens. All right, we got subtraction, so I'm going to change that to adding a negative, just to get in the habit of doing that. Those subtractions, change them to adding the opposite or negative, whatever you want to call it. I suggest moving the x's first. I'd rather not have a negative, so I'm going to get rid of this 3x. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. This leaves me with 5, take away 3, leaves me with 2x. Yeah, there won't be any flipping going on here. Okay, add 12, add 12. 2x is less than or equal to 8. Do I have to flip here? Nope. X is less than or equal to 4. Well, that one worked. Cool. 0 and 4. Solid dot. Everything less than represents x. But it's the same. I can wait while you catch up. Same as the one before. Now this one might turn out to be a little bit different. Let's see what happens. Okay, it doesn't really help me here to divide everything by 5. It's kind of messy. So I have to distribute. There you go. I rewrote it after I distributed. Does anybody see what's going to happen? Something funky, huh? Carly, what's going to happen?
You can't solve because when you subtract 5m, then there's no number.
You get 0, don't you? Let's see what happens. So if I subtract 5m from both sides, this goes away and this goes away. It's really 0. And I get this.
So it's 9.
What? Is that a true statement?
No.
This is not true. If that happens, there is no solution. And that's what you have to write, no solution.
Now,
Not-
is this only if you have a m on each side, or can this happen if, like, you subtract?
Usually it only happens if there's a variable on each side.
But if, no matter what, when it's 0 m, then that means it can't. There's no solution, right?
Right, because what you have to look at is ultimately this, what's left, if that's a true statement or not. If it's not a true statement, then it's no solution. Yeah.
Can you just write n?
Yeah, I guess you can. All right, let's see. There's another. Oh, so you can't graph this. You can't graph when there's no solution. Okay. So this one here, let's change these to adding a negative and adding a negative. It doesn't help me to divide by -4, so I have to distribute that -4. 1 plus a -8s is less than or equal to. I got to distribute the -4. So I get -8s plus 4. Same kind of weird thing's going to happen here, but your answer is going to be different. If I add 8s to both sides, these are 0. And look what happens here. How is this different now? What happened, Callum? I lost you where?
Oh, no, don't, I thought you switched the sign.
No, because I didn't divide by any negatives. No. So what's the difference here than here?
Sure.
This is a true statement. So, this is true. So your answer would be all real numbers or solutions.
You can still grab them.
Nope. All real numbers. Any number would work. You could stick any number into that inequality and it would make it true.
I guess you could do it, but
Yeah, again, you really can't graph that. I mean, it's just like you could draw a solid line if you want, but you can't really graph that.
one step ahead anyway.
You wouldn't. You just say all real numbers are solutions. Okay. Let's finish this. You can work.
Can I see the top?
You can work at most 24 hours per week as a nurse's aide. Oh, at most. Those words tell me I'm going to write a what? Equation or inequality? Inequality. Those words tell me I'm going to write an inequality. So far this week, you have worked 7 hours. So you've already worked 7 hours. If the remaining shifts for the week are each 4 hours long, how many possible shifts can you work? Okay, so this is my unknown right here. X is equal to how many 4-hour shifts can I work? That's my unknown. That's what I'm trying to find. So now let's break it apart. How many hours have I worked already? 7. Already worked 7 hours. And then I want to know, well, how many of these kinds of shifts, which are 4 hours long, can I still work? How many of those kinds of shifts, which are 4 hours long, can I still work?
Equals 24.
Not equals, remember it's at most. So I want this side to be less than or greater than 24?
Less than.
Less than or equal?
Oh,
Because I can work 24, up to 24, at most 24. So write both sides first and then figure out what goes in the middle. Subtract 7. Now be careful with your answer. You're going to get a decimal here, which is okay, but you're not going to walk away from this answer right now. How would you actually have to answer this problem with that number? Can you work a quarter of a shift? It wants to know how many full shifts that are 4 hours can you work. So how many full 4-hour shifts can you work? 4. You can't work a partial 4-hour shift because it's asking you how many full 4-hour shifts. So you would say, I can work up to 4 shifts and still be 24 hours or less a week.
Okay, thank you.
Okie dokie. I know this one went